there is a temptation to retreat on the abortion issue. Now, I fully acknowledge that most of you and most of America is not nearly as pro-life as I am. I get it. That's perfectly fine. We can have differences of opinion. However, almost every single decent American that I know but does not believe in late-term abortion. Nobody believes in a infanticide. And no one would ever tolerate this idea that Planned Parenthood and or other associated organizations allegedly would sell baby parts for cash. Now, this is a story that came to the surface nearly a decade ago. For those of you who remember, it was the #1 news story on the planet, where Planned Parenthood allegedly was found on camera by David Daleiden, who is a journalist, auctioning off baby body parts, allegedly, on camera. Kamala Harris was the Attorney General of California when this occurred. Kamala Harris used the entire force of the Attorney General office in California as the Gestapo, Red Guard, secret police, and threw the entire book at David Daleiden, this journalist, for exposing it. Nobody in the abortion industry was held accountable. Nobody in the abortion industry went to jail for this obviously illegal activity. But David Daleiden still faces prison time because Kamala Harris used the AG office to go after a journalist. It is time that we play offense on the abortion issue. They want this election to be all about abortion. That's fine. I can fully acknowledge that most people are not where I am on abortion. And simultaneously, no one is where Kamala Harris and Tim Walz is on abortion. And us just kind of cowering in a corner and hoping this issue goes away is the wrong posture. Number one, Tim Walz, as governor of Minnesota, has said that he is so pro-abortion, Nancy Pelosi asked him to calm it down. Let's get that tape. Nancy Pelosi even said, "Can you calm down the abortion talk?" And he screams into the camera like a lunatic, saying no. Number two, in Minnesota, they have the most extreme abortion measure in the country, where according to Freedom of Information document requests that John Solomon obtained from Just the News, excellent person, great organization, that 8 babies that we know of while Tim Walz was governor survived an abortion and then were murdered outside of the womb. Similar to what Governor Ralph Northam said of Virginia, well, the baby's born, made comfortable, and then we'll make a decision of what to do. Ryan, can you get that? The Democrat Party, from Ralph Northam to Kamala Harris to Tim Walz, is the party of infanticide. They celebrate late-term abortions, and they lied to you that it never happens. Oh, no, late-term abortions don't happen. They are happening in real time. We have the data, the evidence that they are happening. And when late-term abortions do happen, thanks to now a judge in New York last week, we are allowed to now play this piece of tape on our show. Previously, we were not allowed to play this piece of tape. Planned Parenthood has tried, and motion after motion, assisted by Kamala Harris and her goons, to not allow this footage of David Daleiden as a journalist nearly a decade ago showing allegedly what Planned Parenthood does. So let me tell you the context here. David Daleiden did a James O'Keefe-style sting where he went and took out to lunch several people in the abortion industry and found out that people in Planned Parenthood were selling limbs, baby feet for $1,500 a piece, $2,000 a piece. This is very, very graphic content. But I think it's important that you look at this because Kamala Harris learned that this was happening in her state. Kamala Harris found out this was happening in her state. And who did she point the guns at? Not at the abortion industry, but at the journalist who discovered this. It's time that we play offense on the abortion issue. You might say, oh, you know, it's a tough issue. It is a tough issue. But the country is not where Kamala Harris and Tim Walz is at. Watch for yourself. 127. Again, I have to say this is allegedly a video that very well could get me sued for playing it on air, but I think it's important that you hear this, and you know that we are not cowards on this show. So if I get sued, I did it the right way, and I'm exposing this. quote, you can pay up to $1,000 or $1,500 for a liver of an aborted baby because it's in such high demand. It's going to be like 10 people. We have to get this approved. Let me be very happy about it. That's it. This is an abortion trafficker selling baby body parts as if they are car parts. Oh, yeah, I'll get you a muffler. Play cut 127.
I mean, we could pay you $1,000 up to $1,500 for a liver.
Yeah.
Because that's in such high demand.
Financial incentive from you guys is going to be like, to the people we have to get this approved, we'll be very happy about it.
Like I said, New York City is worth going for, and I don't know that they partner with anybody. To me, that, other than UCSF, is the largest site of 20 to 24-week cases that have not gotten feticide. And I know because I'm a provider here, too.
So those are people with official titles at Planned Parenthood being recorded and they didn't know it, talking about how they are basically, oh yeah, a liver high demand. So they abort the baby and then they'll cut the baby up illegally. And then under the surface, they will sell the baby body parts for other medical experimentation, things that you're not supposed to be doing. It's a very, very big business, like a local butcher. Cut 128 is the abortionist admits that they will do partial abortions even when they are illegal. So when Kamala Harris says that she wants to have abortion access in every single state around the country, this is what she means. And again, I want to say all these videos are allegedly. You should take them in their context and decide for yourself. I'm presenting you the facts so that you can come to your own conclusions. And if I get sued by Planned Parenthood, I'm sure you guys will help defend me. Play cut 128.
The high dollar amount, we can pay incredible amounts for intact specimen.
Yeah. So, like, you mean completely intact DNA?
Not all.
Yeah.
But yes, but some.
Yeah. I mean, that's just like a case-by-case basis.
Exactly.
We just do whatever's safest and best.
Right,
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, so if we can do an intact DNA, it's usually less traumatic for the patient. But
right,
yeah, I don't know. I think amongst our providers to like encourage more intacts for this purpose, I think would be challenging. But we certainly do intact DNAs. So.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
You mean completely intact DNA? We certainly do intact DNAs. So.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they are bragging on camera, Planned Parenthood. That's called an intact dilation and evacuation, which is a partial birth abortion, which is illegal under federal law. And they're just bragging on camera. Yeah, we do them all the time. We do them. Now, why would you want a partial birth abortion? Because then you could sell the baby body parts. It's a big business. We do not know how commonplace this is in this country. But David Daleiden, who, by the way, is still facing federal prison time. Do you know why? Because of Kamala Harris. So Kamala Harris freaked out as California Attorney General as soon as the videos came out. She knew that this was a smoking gun against the abortion industry. And up until last week, I was not able to show you these videos because it was under motion after motion. And finally, a judge in New York said, nope, these videos are allowed to be made in the public. Praise God. Just in time for election season. This can put Kamala Harris on defense in a big way, and it should. So then she used the full force of the California Attorney General after the journalist who exposed this. This is hallmark journalism. And David Daleiden is still facing prison time because of it. In cut 129, this is an abortionist who is giggling over selling livers and legs of partial birth abortions. She says, now every time I do a partial abortion, I'm like, oh, there's some lungs. There's some kidneys. I'm like, I have a leg for you. So this is an abortionist who is bragging on camera that when she kills a baby in the womb, she's looking at all the money she could make of the parts of the baby that she kills. Play cut 129.
6 months or a year ago, you told me about the proposition. And so now every time I do a DNA, I'm like, oh, there's some lung.
You already know.
I'm like, yeah, I have like a leg for you. I'm like, oh, shit. If other people were to hear me, they'd be like, you are evil.
So that is a abortionist at a conference talking about every time I do a DNA and like, oh, there's a lung, there is a kidney, there is a stomach. It is fair to summarize that basically these abortion clinics are just like auto part junkyards. Oh, yeah, just scrap it for steel, scrap it for parts. So when these babies are aborted in the womb, we're talking about very well-developed babies, by the way. This is not 6 or 8 weeks. These are babies that are far along the gestational period, that the abortionist has a monetary incentive to then chop up that baby, sell it illegally under the table for cash. And we have evidence of that, which, again, mind you, this is a 10-year-old video. So you have to wonder how much this has developed. The reason why this video has not been able to be spread is because Planned Parenthood spent tens of millions of dollars suing anybody that would talk about this, anybody that would mention it. And now finally a judge has said, nope, you're allowed to do that. This was pure abortion industry factory censorship. And Tim Walz and Kamala Harris together, they have no issue with all of this. In both of the states that they represent, the abortion policies that they espouse enable this. It's very well documented how pro-life I am. I think it's time that we lean in on this. I don't think any one of you watching right now at home, even if you are more moderate on abortion, which I completely respect, I don't think anybody is okay with these clips that I just played. We need whistleblowers. We need investigations. We need the facts around this, and to play offense against Kamala Harris and Tim Walz on the abortion fanaticism and the disgusting auto part sales that they are doing with the treasured babies that get aborted every single day by the abortion industry.